Okay, hi, and welcome back to... Hang on, microphone's not attached. Let's try again. Welcome back to day 3 of our trip, or day 2 of our Twister trip. We are currently sat outside the Montford Inn. Montford. This was where Helen Hunt stayed when they were shooting Twister down in Norman, Oklahoma. Don't know why she stayed here and nobody else did. Maybe she wanted her own place. Make your own assumptions of that. So this is the place where she stayed. It's a bit of a fill of this one, because we're waiting to go to the... Where do you know?
Really annoying when you do that.
So we're waiting to go to the weather centre this morning. We got a public tour, and the public tour's not until 1 o'clock, so we're just doing a bit of filling in at the moment, aren't we? Went to the cinema in Guthrie last night, and we ended up watching Spider-Man Homecoming. It was alright, wasn't it?
I felt asleep.
Gina fell asleep. I don't think that's any relation to the film. I think it's just because we're so tired from trying to change time zones.
I don't even know how it ended. I think it got halfway.
Because the film didn't start showing last night until, what, about 8:30?
8:30, 8:45.
Yeah, 8:30, 8:45. Then you've also got like a 2-hour film. And then bearing in mind that only 3 days ago as well, we were on UK time still, weren't we, our bodies? So by the time we left there, it was about 5:30 in the morning, UK time.
Well, you can't keep thinking that.
So no, yeah, so I managed to watch all of the film. Gina fell asleep for the end of it.
I think the second half of it.
We've just been watching back as well on the laptop this morning some of the footage from the film Twister, namely from the cinema scene. So we went to the town yesterday to try and locate where some of the places were, but we couldn't easily identify it, could we? But I watched it back again this morning, and I've drawn a really primitive map. This is basically where we were yesterday, where we thought it was, but we couldn't find anything identifying for it, so we've got that. And we're going to nip back later on after we've been to the weather centre, because we're going past Guthrie later on, so we're going to go and try and see if we can actually identify where it was. There's one brick building we know is definitely still there, that was in the film, so from that and a few telegraph poles we're able to pinpoint where things were, but a lot of it, because it's a set for the film, got taken down. So we're going to go off to the weather centre now. We haven't really got anything to do for the next hour. So there's a nice lake that's just on the outskirts of Norman to the east of Norman, so we're going to go have a quick look at that. And then we'll go off to the weather centre. Right, so catch you in a bit.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down. Into your lap I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on into and disappear. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down.
So Gina's having a go at driving.
Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart. Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart.
Really expensive computer. in the weather centre, and I put what on it. Thanks very much. Cheers for that. Never clapped, you know. The light is right. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Why am I greeting you like I'm some posh English person? Elite? I'm not even that down with street either. Oh. Right. My politically correct as ever wife. Right, okay, so we have come back to the cinema location because we have figured out exactly where the cinema location is. We're not even looking at me and I'm talking.
You're in it! I've got
No,
you
I'm
driving as well. It's like the whole...
The whole deal. Nothing.
God, it's solely on
The real
you,
deal and nothing but the deal.
Mr. Vane.
I don't want it solely on me and I'm not vain.
You're so vain.
Right, I'll do it.
I bet you think this vlog is about you. On you. That's a good angle, huh?
Okay. So we're back at the Twister location again, and we were looking on the film footage last night, and what we're looking at now is the very first scene we cut to in the film. So if Gina wants to turn the camera around. Half an hour later. Right. So what we have over here is we've got this lamppost there, and a lamppost there, and a man in the garage. Not that the man in the garage is important right now, but we've got two lampposts here, two telegraph poles here with power lines on them. Yep. So in the film, just over to the left of us now, that is where the cinema is, or was, should I say. Over to the right is where the car garage was, where they all take shelter inside the pit. Just to the side of us here.
Is that right in your thing?
Yeah. Just over to the side of us up there is where the what are we calling it now? It's just a background building, isn't it? Yeah. That had a porch and everything else on it, but obviously I think the porch was only put on it for the film. And even if you look on Street View doesn't show this much ivy on the side of the building. I don't think Street View's been down here for a while.
Window thing,
Yeah, there was some windows on the side of this. In fact, tell you what, let's go outside.
I'm not getting out.
Gina's not getting out of the car for this one.
This one doesn't impress me that
It don't impress her much.
That don't impress me.
So just over here in the distance where there's long grass is. Watch out for any snakes and things that are in this grass. So just about here, all this area here was where the motel was that they were all apparently going to be staying in for that night. Over to where the car is at the moment, that was where the cafe was, if we're calling it a cafe. I said the only way you can easily tell from the film that this is definitely the right location is because of this that pole there, that pole there, the other one that's down by the 25 sign in the distance. So they all marry up, and also as well, it's is this building here, and it's got an unusual roof line where the roof line drops back down and then cuts across again. And from that roof line there is where you're positioning it. So in the opening scene for the film, the car, as it goes to the cinema screen, and then a car comes through in the shot, and the car's going in that direction. I said all the chase vehicles, so Dusty's van and everything, are all parked up on this corner here, with the motel over in that corner, and this is where the cafe was here. So that's where that area is there. Unfortunately, there is nothing left of this area anymore to show that at all, and even this road's kind of completely disappeared where the car comes through in the shot. So that's your lot. Unfortunately, that's everything there is to show around here. Nothing left at all from the film. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that there's nothing around here, but I'm happy that we've actually... Gina's laughing at me in the car there. So I'm happy that we've actually got the right location, and this is definitely where it was shot. Like I said, unfortunately there is nothing left around here. I was going to have a quick walk over to where the car garage was and see if there's any remnants of the pits or even any sunken land, but I doubt it. So at this moment in time I'm roughly stood right in the middle of where the garage was, where they all took shelter from the tornado as it passes overhead before it's on its way to Wichita. And there is literally no trace of it left around here at all now. I'll just do a quick 360 now we can see what it was. So I'm standing right in the middle of the junction now. That area there was where the car garage was. Over here was another brick building which no longer remains. This is obviously the small house with the porch on the front of it. Just round by that bush in the corner would be where the motel is, and here would be where the cafe was, but there's nothing left of that now at all. There's a gentleman that's coming up on the mower now. I might quickly nip in and just ask him, see if he remembers anything of the film. Hey there! Am I correct in thinking this is where they shot one of the locations for Twister?
Twister?
Yeah. Right here it was it?
Yeah. That, I believe, was a little restaurant.
Right, okay. And the cinema was here, the movie theatre was here, was it?
Well, no, this was the drive-in theater. Right out there about where that white van sitting all the way out, that's where the screen stood.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. That building there was the concession stand.
Right, so that is that the same building still then?
Well, part of it, yeah.
Part of it? That's amazing. I never knew that. Thank you very much for your time. Really liked it, thank you. So there you go. That building is the only building that's actually left from the film. They actually made that up to be the ticket stand. So straight from a gentleman's mouth there. I should have asked him his name. Unfortunately, I forgot. But yeah, there we go. So it's definitely the right location. I'm chuffed with it. That guy just told me that this is definitely the right place, and that was the actual movie theatre building. So that's where the projection house was. In the film. Obviously it's not the real projection house, they just made the garage look like a projection house.
Cool.
So yeah. Right, okay, we are just getting into a town called Ralston. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. We are just going to the east side of the town, the Fairfax side of the town, and we're going to have a look at the bridge that they... Gina, just get the paper out a minute.
Opening bridge.
Yep, so it's the bridge from the opening scenes from the film. We're just going to go and cut away to that one. Going to go and just have a look at it. It doesn't, apart from like a couple of seconds at the start of the film, it doesn't really appear in anything. There's another bridge that's to the west of the town, and that's one that they apparently cross when they're leaving Wichita after it's been hit by the tornado. So we're going to go to the one that's in the opening scenes first, and just have a quick look at it, and then we'll head over to the other bridge. So okay, we're just driving across the bridge at the moment, just to the east of Ralston, and it appears that this bridge is brand new, and they've had a brand new bridge thrown in. So that was a bit of a wasted trip, but we've confirmed that this is definitely the right bridge. We were trying to find the farm location for where Bill and Joe first meet, and Bill's trying to get the divorce document signed. It is around this area somewhere, but we couldn't find it, and apparently, as I've heard on the internet, the farm itself was actually hit by a tornado a few years ago, so unfortunately it's not here anymore. This is the angle now going from myself over that way, in the opening scene, across this bridge. Like I said, unfortunately this bridge has been completely changed since then. This used to be a steel frame structure, but it's now been changed to a concrete bridge. So unfortunately that's not here anymore. We'll go over to the other side now, and we'll have a look at the other bridge, and hopefully that one might be still the original steel frame structure. So this is still the original metal bridge, and this is the one that the team cross on their way out of leaving Wichita. It was the helicopter was over in that direction towards where that tower is, looking over this way, and then all the cars were coming down over here and were crossing this bridge, heading in this direction over that way. So what you'll get to see now is a lot of the film locations were all shot in exactly the same location, or on the same road. So that one, like I said, they got the bridges, which were both shot in and around Ralston. Fairfax was also in for the beginning of the film as well, where Bill and Joe met up to get the divorce document signed. So okay, just ahead of us is the next location, which is where Bill and Joe, when they're trying to encounter their first tornado with the Dorothy on the back of Joe's yellow Jeep. They swing around a corner, and then Bill goes into a ditch on the side of a field, and then he ultimately gets stuck in the ditch and drives along the side of the field up until they stop, crash into a bridge, jump out, and then hide underneath the bridge. This is the corner that's coming up now. So what you see in the film is Bill and Joe come round this corner, and as they come round this corner, they go off just down here, where into these long crops, and they keep going all the way up the side of this road here. They drive between these two sets of trees just here. So you've got this clump of trees here on the left, this little bush on the right. They drive through that gap there. So it must be right around here. Not surprisingly, there isn't really anything left of this bit now, unfortunately. So okay, I've just actually found the bridge where they hide underneath. It's a bit awkward to get to because of the undergrowth. Just got to watch them not stepping on anything in this long grass. I reckon I can get in there without. So okay, here's a load of old timbers. Let me just point it on the floor. There's a load of old timbers here from the film that are still lying on the ground. Looks like here's one of the posts. This quite possibly could have been one of the posts that they were hugging around to try and keep out the storm. As it looks like this could be another one just up there into the trees around this old drain here. So apparently they had a big styrofoam tractor on top of the bridge to make it look like a real tractor on top. So yeah, so that's this location here. So I've just found that, which means then in that case that is the tree that you can make out in the film where they drop the truck. That is where the DVD cover is shot, if you can just make that out. I'm pretty sure that this section here now is where Bill gets his blowout and they're running over a load of wooden poles to make them look like metal pipes. Right, okay then, Gina, put your hand over the lens and we're going to fade out. Just hit something on the road in front of me. I just hit the car.
Holy shit.
We're possibly in the weirdest hotel room we've ever been in. Gina's laughing.
This is take 2.
Because I forgot to press record. This hotel is proper weird. Got weird funky smells. And we had to drive through a proper storm to get here today. And yeah, there was like cars on the highway in front of us that were getting hit by bolts of lightning. And
Never seen lightning so bright and big in all my life.
It was quite violent. But anyway, yeah, so we get it, and then we've got tornado warning. It's how to run away. There's mould on the wall, just about on the bed. I think they've had to paint this wall green to hide the mould. And we're also next door to some really seedy bar, and even the receptionist was like, yeah, I wouldn't go there. Yeah, so I think breakfast is served at 6. I think we'll be going down there at 5:45 to make sure we get breakfast and get straight out the door. So anyway, I'm about to run out of battery. There's like no plug sockets in here either to charge your stuff up, so if you even have one mobile phone, you're pretty knackered. But they do have a flat screen TV.
Well, this one was wonky.
This one does. Headboard's pissed.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Would you rather
I have to go bed dressed.
should go sleep in the car?
Not around here.
I think we'll be glad when we get to the hotel tomorrow.
Why is that another Super 8 by any chance?
I don't know, is it?
More than likely.
Have you looked at the list?
There is another one somewhere.
Note to self, don't stay at Super 8.
So tomorrow.
So I know I'm slagging off the room, but it is only $48 for the night, which apparently includes breakfast. We don't know how good the breakfast is. So $48, what are you really expecting to get for $48? Possibly a little less damp.
There's a bloody another Super 8.
It's okay, we stay at a nice fancy hotel afterwards.
Baymont Inn Hotel.
Yeah, that's got swimming pool.